Hello everyone, my name is Oriza from Tokyo Metropolitan University and I will present our work titled Towards a Standardized Dataset on Indonesian NER. Recent Indonesian NER studies have used different datasets since there's a limited open corpora for this task. So, this gave us difficulties to reproduce the works. An existing dataset is available, but it contains inconsistent annotation with a very small size. Therefore, we reannotated the dataset and measured the performance of both annotations. To handle the limited vocabulary in our data, we used transformer-based pre-trained models to help solve the out-of-vocabulary problem since they were trained on a large-scale corpora which contains extensive vocabularies such as Wikipedia and Common Crawl. Here are some of the related works. There are 3 recent works for English NER. First, the use of layer embeddings with PyLSTM-CRF. Second, fine-tuning a BERT model. And third, fine-tuning a bidirectional transformer model. About low-resourced NER, there are several works using PyLSTM-CRF with various feature representation in Vietnamese, Persian, and Nepali. Other languages such as Bulgarian, Basque, and Arabic also have fine-tuned BERT models. In case of Indonesian, many works has used PyLSTM for NER and fast text as the input. The latest one is using Elmo and PyLSTM-CRF on a conversational text dataset, and IndoBERT, which is an Indonesian pre-trained BERT model that applied on 12 tasks, including NER. Next, about the problem. Here are some examples of the inconsistency we found on the existing dataset, or we call it SNN. The 3 sentences here include a pattern of title, organization, and person. In sentence 1, SNN annotated all tokens from Ketua Umum, Gerindra, and Prabowo Subianto as a person. However, there are actually 3 different entities. In the red part of sentence 2, SNN only annotated the token Suhardi as a person and did not annotate Partai Gerindra as an organization. But in the blue part of sentence 2 and 3, SNN didn't tag the titles which are Politikus and Wakil Ketua Umum as entities but did tag the organization and person correctly. These sentences demonstrate that there were inconsistencies in the data, so we checked the token by token in the dataset. We reannotated the data and have 3 entities included. The left table shows the number of tags changes after the reannotation, and the right table shows the statistics of the dataset. On this table, we know that the most problematic entity is organization, shown by about 700 tokens initially not tagged as entity, and we tagged them as organization during the process. To handle this problem, we asked 3 native speakers to reannotate the data. In terms of our annotation guidelines, we annotate the allocation when the tokens indicate a location name contextually. Such an entity usually preceded by a location preposition like di, ke, or dari. And then, we annotate tokens as organization or person when it mentions an organization or person name. Any form of organization or person name in full, acronym, nickname, or abbreviation, they are all annotated as one name. When both forms appear, they will be annotated separately, as shown in this example. Jump to our experiment and results. First, we analyze the impact of the data consistency on both annotation using PyLSTM-CRF and fasttext as the input representation. Second, to further improve our low-resource data, we use transformer-based pre-trained models which are multilingual BERT, XLM Roberta, and IndoBERT with 2 approaches, namely feature-based and the fine-tuning. Examining the annotation performance with our first approach, we did a cross-testing for the models trained on both datasets. When trained and tested On SNN data, we obtained an F1 score of 76.11 and 84.41 when tested on our annotation. Especially in the organization entity, the score jumped quite high by almost 20 points. Using our train and test data, we obtained a very high overall score with a more consistent performance of the organization tag. About improving the performance of our low resource data, we compare the use of monolingual and multilingual model. The multilingual models are better when fine-tuned, and the monolingual model is better when used as a feature representation. The best model was obtained from the feature-based approach with the Indobird as the input representation for the BILSTM CRF. This approach even boosted up the organization score to about 93 points. We hypothesize that this is happened because the multilingual models contain many languages in their vocabularies and they split the words into subwords when doing the tokenization. When the pre-trained model is frozen for feature representation use, it is possible that some Indonesian subwords are biased because they share representations with other languages' subwords. Moreover, the Indobird was trained on the Indo-4B dataset, which also contains Indonesian news corpora, so there is a domain similarity between the Indo-4B and our dataset. In conclusion, inconsistency in the dataset could cause a low performance in predictions. So we reannotated an Indonesian NER dataset to produce a more consistent annotation in this task. This dataset has been published in this GitHub page. And then, employing a transformer-based pre-trained model is beneficial to the Indonesian NER, which has limitations in dataset size and word ambiguity. In addition, language-specific pre-trained model obtained a better result, although multilingual models also worked very well with only slightly under the monolingual models. In the future, we are interested to do knowledge transfer from English NER to Indonesian. That's all, and thank you for listening.